Hi everyone, it's Sunday, August 1st, time for another HideNet Week in Review. I'm Vera Dordick. So let's start with the European report this week, but before we do, this is a reminder that after this issue, it's on hiatus while the Italian tanneries are closed in August. We'll resume publication on September 3rd, and the international report will also be on pause after Tuesday's report. So let's get down to the news, and from Europe, editor Andrea Guolo says that the raw material market was rather quiet for the last week of business before the holiday, but there are some signs of recovery for the autumn in certain sectors. Unfortunately, footwear does not seem to be one of those, and in his commentary, Andrea delves into what's going on, as well as what tanneries are doing about stocks, supplies, and purchasing, and what the likely scenario is when everyone returns to work in September. In the UK, he says that English origins are emboldened by the US price situation, but for now, the levels remain unchanged, with the 36 plus British ox at £1.40 in sterling for the best grades. In Ireland, there were also no changes, and sales of the 36 plus were at €1.50, and that's despite sellers asking for 10 cents more. With regard to bulls in Europe, demand remains good and prices are stable, although at the reopening of business in September, he would not be surprised to see prices a little higher. Southern German selections are still at €1.90 per kilo, with a few at €1.95. In the European cow markets, Chinese customers are buying in France, and everything remains stable with regard to price. Turning to the U.S., little change during the week because buyers and sellers are still facing off over prices, with many customers abandoning bids when sellers push for more. Overall, the market was generally steady. Looking at heavy Texas steers, as has been the case for a long time, trading was thin and prices were steady. Seasonal weights of 62-64 pounds are still selling as high as $56. A couple of steer selections added 50 cents, but those were hard-won exceptions to the rule. In the cow market, interest wasn't quite as good as it has been, and price levels were consequently a little softer. Looking at combined export sales for the week ending July 22nd, they were down 440 to 440,600, and that's 31% lower than the previous week. Combined shipments were also lower at 552,200, which is down 22%. Slaughter for the week through Saturday, July 31st, was up just 1,000 head from last week at 649,000. Turning to South America, editor Ronald Guiel reports that the average price of fresh hides was up another 5 cents during the week, closing at $3.90. And yet again, TR1 remains unchanged at $1.15 to $1.20 per square foot. In other news from Brazil, Brazilian brands are participating in Italian and U.S. footwear fairs. They're holding a webinar for Brazilian opportunities for footwear in Mexico. And from elsewhere in Latin America, Argentina's footwear manufacturer Grimaldi is refinancing its debt. In Chile, Santiago's footwear sales are up by triple digits in June. In Bogota, the leather footwear and leather goods fair is opening this week on Tuesday. Mexican tanning is working at 70% in general. Marfrig's executive foresees an expansion in Paraguay. And finally, Uruguay's leather exports are up again. So that's all we have for tonight. And until next week, good night from HideNet.